All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 120. It is approximately 8:15 p.m. right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, February 24th, 2021, and a lot of stuff happened today. Lots of stuff. Let me just get right into it. So first of all, Fry's Electronics. That's a big one. I was never at a Fry's Electronics, but they were a very big electronic store chain on the West Coast. It's really sad that they're never going to open up their stores again. And Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021, was their final day of operation. So it's a real shame that all of the stores are closed. And the second thing is, of course, the Belk bankruptcy. That is also another significant deal. Is Belk officially filed for bankruptcy today? They're going to be reorganizing, and I could imagine some lower performing stores that are probably C plus to C minus stores. Those stores will all be gone through the bankruptcy process of Belk bankruptcy. But thank you, Nicola Solar, for bringing that up. I do appreciate that. That is the topic that I wanted to go over as well in the stream. So, obviously, as everybody knows, this is Lord and Taylor week. So I don't know if you guys have been liking the store tours so far. We have two more going up, one tomorrow and then one going up Friday, and then a couple of elevator videos that will be scattered across Saturday and Sunday. Again, Lord and Taylor's final day of operation is Saturday, February 27th, 2021. So yeah, lots of closings are coming up. I actually I can show you guys on Hilco Merchants. They're getting ready. 3 chains are getting ready to close by the 27th. So we'll go to Hilco Merchant Resources. Which I may have to use Safari for. Fixed asset reality. So this is the update on Hilco's website, and this will give us a pretty good indicator for where the Lord and Taylor sales are heading. I don't know why. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Guys, I think oh no, it's right there. I was about to say that I actually misplaced my phone. Sorry about that. Correct. Those were not phase 1, which I'm surprised that they didn't close the Lord and Taylor Fashion Center before closing Westville Garden State. They're both closing at the same time, Saturday, February 27th, 2021. I don't know why that Wi-Fi thing just popped up. That's really weird that it just popped up. Oh, I don't even know. Okay. There's some new features of StreamYard that I'm trying to learn. I'm pretty good, Scorch. How are you? Yeah, I heard Johnson & Johnson is being approved by the FDA, so that could really help us out in vaccinating population. Yeah, sporting goods closed at the North Lake Mall in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I think that mall was declining, unfortunately. Ugh. I really hate this Wi-Fi thing that it keeps going on and off. Hi, Scott. How are you, man? So two major significant events today: Fry's Electronics, and then of course, both like Fry's Electronics permanently closing, and then of course, unfortunately, Belk filing for bankruptcy, which doesn't help. Chris, why do people keep sending inappropriate links on the Belk closing vid? I took one for the team and saw the link, and no, it's spammers. I just remove it or report it as spam. It's all spam. I just remove it. So, I mean, we have Pfizer and Moderna, so I think we're doing pretty all right. Even without Johnson and Johnson, we're actually doing really well considering It's just Johnson and Johnson will help out a little bit, but who knows? I'm pretty good, Mohammed Sonic Boom. How are you? Yeah, I think that, yeah, that is a Simon Mall. I did look at that mall many years ago, but I've never been to Charlotte before. Hey, Scott, how are you, man? I did not know this, but Lego actually opened up a store at Smith Haven, which actually really is that's shocking. It's in the old Apple store, which is really surprised. Yeah, I did. I know that's a shame. Notice Series One. Yeah, and it was unexpected too. Like nobody knew. Like you couldn't even plan a trip there. It just happened like that. Like it was like with the snap. And I found out this morning because if you live on the West Coast, it's 3 hours behind. So say they're 12 o'clock in California, um, is my 3 o'clock on the East Coast. We're 3 hours ahead of the West Coast rather. Yeah, and it's a shame, but there's plenty of Otis Series ones out there, so it's not the end of the world. No, Apple did not close at Smith Haven. Apple is still there. The Lego store went into the old Apple store. Apple is still at Smith Haven. Oh, I don't know about that. That I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Fry's Electronics is just really sad that the whole chain, and it's and people didn't even get to say goodbye. They just one day they went in, next day they have a notice posted outside all their stores saying, "Sorry, we're closed." And each of their stores had a theme. Each of their stores had a different theme. I think one was themed after a golf one. I think that was the most boring one. But like the one in Arizona, it was themed to a temple. So it's a shame. It is a shame because it really could have been something, but the writing was on the wall for Fry's Electronics. I think everybody knew that the writing was on the wall. The stores were barely staffed. They were huge buildings and they were barely stocked. Um, so I think the future for those buildings probably distribution centers. I can't imagine a store taking over just given the size and the scope of the Fry's Electronics buildings. I personally think Amazon's better off just picking up the buildings for really cheap and just turning them into fulfillment centers. Just given the size, the scope, and probably the geography of some of the locations, they would make them really work as Amazon fulfillment centers. Um, so it's unfortunate, but the writing was on the wall for Fry's Electronics. And Best Buy is just overall the better retailer, better customer service, and each store has just a better flow. Personally, in my opinion, over Fry's Electronics. But writing was on the wall, and the pandemic was the nail in the coffin, pretty much like Lord and Taylor, and possibly could quite possibly be the nail in the coffin for Belk as well. Actually, thank God Belk did not buy J.C. Penney. I think that would have been a risky move, and then there goes all J.C. Penney gone. So I think, see, everything happens for a reason. I'm happy that Simon and Brookfield bought J.C. Penney over Belk. It's such a smarter acquisition, honestly. Belk would have bought J.C. Penney, they would have rebranded their stores and they would have closed. So I think honestly, Simon buying J.C. Penney was a much better deal. Honestly, that's going to become a new West Wing at Westfield Garden State Plaza. And yeah, no, they're doing construction on that. That's going to be a whole new West Wing expansion project. That's going to connect the East Wing of the mall and the West Wing of the mall, right in the middle, so people don't have to go all the way up to go all the way down. There'll be a new wing connecting both, which just makes sense logistically. Yeah, Lenox Square and Phipps Plaza are both owned by Simon Property Group. The only reason Simon holds is holding on to both of them is because they both have different upscale stores. It's up to you. I mean, Lord and Taylor's closing this weekend. I can't imagine you're going to get there. And I mean, by then, I think they're going to have the second floor closed off or like just fixtures up there. But I know the Lord and Taylor's, but all Lord and Taylor's are closing by the end of this week. As a matter of fact, I actually have Hilco Merchants websites. They're literally slashing prices left and right. Let me get to the Chrome tab here. So this is Hilco Merchants website. As you can see, we have Best Market, JCPenney. There's going to be 18 locations coming soon, but I don't know if it's the ones that were announced back in December or JCPenney is closing 18 additional stores. Lord and Taylor is at 75% off the final days, so Lord and Taylor is closing Saturday. on February 27th, 2021, along with Christopher and Banks, which is approximately 407 stores, and Bed Bath & Beyond, which includes, sadly, the Manhasset location. All of these three things you see here with 75, 50, and F, 75, 50, 50, and also here Express 2. All these four brands, Express 9 locations, Lord & Taylor 19, Christopher Banks 407, and Bed Bath & Beyond 37, all closing Saturday, February 27th, 2021. And then we will see what liquidation sales are next. Do you know about cartoons? Yes, of course. I've watched SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, a lot of good shows when I was a kid. Now all the shows are just garbage. But Jimmy Neutron was one of my favorites. That one, Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob SquarePants, Danny Phantom, that was another really good one. Tough Puppy. Wasn't a fan of Fanboy Chum Chum. I think that show was just stupid in my opinion. And I watched the grown-up adult cartoons like Family Guy, the Cleveland Show sometimes, and American Dad. Oh, a Rouse property design from the 1980s. Fun. Very fun. Yeah, and it closed, I think, a couple years ago. Hi, Hazmat Studios. How are you? Saks Fifth Avenue in Short Hills is a pain. Yeah, I think that was an awful decision. Hackensack, I totally get them, and they wanted to pull out of Hackensack for years. I totally get Saks wanting to leave Hackensack. That and American Dream. That's what lured them away for um, the mall at Short. I'm sorry, Shops Riverside. But I think Saks could have kept Short Hills. I don't know why. I think that was a stupid move to close Short Hills. Short Hills did not have to close. I don't know what person at Hudson Bay thought that that was a good idea. I don't know what they were thinking. That store should have stayed. That store would have been fine. That wouldn't have hurt American Dream. What are they? Yeah, this is why I hate Hudson Bay sometimes. And I have a feeling that Latote is looking to acquire Saks. And guess what's going to happen when Latote acquires Saks? It's going to follow the same. Well, hopefully another pandemic doesn't come. But I mean, if Latote got Saks, Saks would essentially be done. It would just. But we all know Hudson Bay is all about the real estate, just like good old Eddie. The only difference is Eddie's United States and Hudson Bay is Canada. But it's a shame that it's only about the real estate. It was never about the stores or the employees or trying to improve the shopping experience. It was never about that. It was all about the real estate with those people. And that's why Lord and Taylor is going out by Saturday. And at this point, it's just people from Hilco coming into the stores. Well, the same thing obviously goes for the Bed Bath and Beyond stores, the Christopher and Banks stores, and of course, um, the 7 Express stores. So I don't know how the two would that those are two totally different things. American Dad and it reminds me of American Dream. No, American Dad is like it's like a political show by Seth MacFarlane. American Dream is a shopping mall. I maybe because I think they did some kind of Wall of America thing many years ago, but maybe I can't remember. I don't know what show that was. Sachs leaving will kill Walt Whitman. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sachs needs to stay at Whitman. Sachs leaves Whitman. That's the end of Walt Whitman, pretty much, because Bloomingdale's could pull out of there if it because they'll favoritize Roosevelt Field, no doubt about that, and then Macy's would leave them all, and that's the end of Walt Whitman. So. Lord and Taylor, yeah, I mean Lord and Taylor wasn't really the destination store there. It added value to the property, but it wasn't a destination store. Saks Fifth Avenue needs to stay for now because that's a very that store needs to stay. So the mall has a store to speak of. So that's why Saks Fifth Avenue needs to stay at Walt Whitman Shops. So they didn't exactly mod the elevator. All they did was, well, I mean, yeah, the cab replacement I think was unnecessary. I think they could have kept the cab exactly the same, but they didn't mod the motor. The only thing they really did is completely redid the inside of the cab and kept the motor. So that's not no Saks Fifth Avenue Waltman is not closing. Yeah, I agree. SpongeBob episodes are bad. Um, Oh yeah, Bloomingdale's will favor Walt Whitman over Roosevelt Field, no doubt about that. Just given the location and the geographical location, and I bet Bloomingdale's Roosevelt Field does more numbers than Bloomingdale's Walt Whitman. It's not to say Walt Whitman is bad. It's just that store is a much more attractive store than the Walt Whitman store. Again, it's not to say Walt Whitman is bad. I think the Bloomingdale's Walt Whitman is probably one of the top performers, but I do think comparing the two, obviously Bloomingdale's Roosevelt Field will win hands down, just because of the location that the store is in. Are you going to upload the Lord and Taylor store tour of the Willowbrook Mall in Wayne? Well, not to be a spoiler, but believe it or not, that is one of the store tours that are going up tomorrow. There's one more additional store in Jersey. I think you all know what it is, but I'll keep that one a surprise. But yes, Lord and Taylor Willowbrook Mall Wayne is going up tomorrow. I managed to somehow get to the Lord and Taylor store at Willowbrook. It's a long story. I mean, I'll just tell it anyway. I needed to get something at Willowbrook, and I happen to have a little extra time there, so I was able to do a walkthrough of that Lord and Taylor as well. Originally, I was just going to have Westville Garden State Plaza, but I managed to get a walkthrough of Willowbrook as well. So, but Willowbrook is going up tomorrow, and then one more store in New Jersey is going up Friday. I'm not giving away which store it is, but tomorrow, yes, Lord and Taylor, Willowbrook Mall, Wayne, New Jersey, full walkthrough coming out tomorrow. Stay tuned, and it's going to be up at 7:30 a.m. I believe. So anybody who's getting up early tomorrow, make sure to set your alarms, and it's a really good tour actually. I got most of the store, the elevator, and a lot of the second floor too. So definitely stay tuned for that. I don't want Sears and Kmart to leave us completely, but sadly, it looks like they will. The writing on the walls it has been on the wall for them too. It's just it amazes me that they're still in business, but I know that they're actually, and this is something really funny. They're actually selling fixtures at non-liquidating stores. Oh yeah, no, for Sears and Kmart, it's essentially over. Like I said, there's what's going to happen at the end of April is we're going to have, I think, two more rounds of lists, and then one more round that closes it all. Everything is done for Sears and Kmart, but Sears and Kmart are essentially done. This will be their last year of operation. I don't see them in 2022. Just no way. Yes, Roosevelt Field does because it has a Neiman Marcus and the only full line Nordstrom rather on Long Island. Those are the two stores the mall has to speak of. No, the tour was done recently. The tour was done very recently. The tour was done early January, right around the time Lord and Taylor was still doing 60 to 80, but it's going up tomorrow. Willowbrook, at least. Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of Tony Mons either. Hi, it's the G-Man. How are you? Yes, it's going to be uploaded tomorrow. My mom hates SpongeBob because of the choices in the show. Yeah, I mean, look, SpongeBob in the early, from like 2000 and I'm sorry, like 1996 all the way to like 2007, 2008. That was the shit. From 2010 on, it's not the show that it once was. Earlier in the years, like in the early 2000s, that's when SpongeBob did really well. But then Nickelodeon just made it a cash cow, and it went south really quickly. I mean, you know how many memes have come out of SpongeBob? Like, just think about that for a second. How many memes have come out of SpongeBob? It's amazing. It really is amazing. But that's the internet for you. Really, I didn't know that. But I don't think they're in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania anymore. Yes, but compare the two, Stanford is still going to win just because they kept the motor. And the motor in Stanford literally blows Manhasset out of the park. Manhasset has the cab, and I'm glad they kept that, but Stanford has the motor, which blows Manhasset out of the park, at least motor wise. Hi, Matt. How are you? Did a liquidator catch you? No, a liquidator did not catch me in Wayne, luckily. Nor did they catch me in that other store. The only time I got caught by a liquidator was Rockaway, sadly. And that I mean, I still can't believe they threw me out for that. Like that's just I mean, look, I get it. You're working for the liquidator, but you do not threaten somebody just because he's taking pictures inside the stores. I would have gladly left the store. You don't need to, the guy gave me an attitude, and look, I hate people that are not like respectful. You know, you got him, and then you got the snobby lady in Freehold, who was absolute like just so mean about it. Like, I wish people could be nice about it. And it really depends on who you talk to. But there are some nice people that you can talk to, of course. It's just sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get unlucky. I got very unlucky with Rockaway. The store is closed now. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care about that store anymore. Plus, it's not going to be that way anymore. I can't imagine another department store will go in there. But anyways, are all Lord and Taylor locations closing this Saturday? Yes. Every single Lord and Taylor that is now currently liquidating, Saturday is the final day for all of them, all 19. Balakinwood closed in early January. There's about 19 left. And I pretty much have a store tour of all of them in New Jersey. Well, all of them in New Jersey are going to be up on YouTube by the end of this week. Because I hit escalators, got Livingston. Westville Garden State Plaza came out today. I already got Fashion Center. I have a store tour up of Scarsdale. Nobody was able to do Yonkers, and I wasn't able to get there in time, sadly. Sadly, they put that in phase one, and I didn't want to go out of my way for that one. If I was in the area and I was like, you know what, we should just stop by, and if it closed in phase two, I probably would have went there, but it closed in phase one. And plus, I wasn't going all the way out to Yonkers for a Kone. Sorry to say. I'm not wasting my money on that. Dover Traditional. Ooh, those are always fun. I love Dover Traditionals. Hello, Garden City Elevators. How are you? Yeah, I'll give them credit for that. That's why it blows Manhasset. But cab wise, Manhasset takes the cake. Yeah, probably a relocation in the early '90s, I'd imagine. Yeah, it was wrong for them, of course. Hi, Chris. This is it. The final 3 days of Lord and Taylor. Yes, the final 3 days of Lord and Taylor liquidation sales with Hilco Merchants, as well as Express, Bed Bath and Beyond, and Christopher and Banks. I don't think probably. Well, if the Schindler MTs were installed in like the 1990s in the Coxshin, Pennsylvania, I probably pronounced that wrong, so my apologies. I don't really know my towns in Pennsylvania. The only ones I know is the ones outside of Philly. I don't know the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a lot bigger than New Jersey, that's for sure. You're lucky you didn't see the handcuffs yet. Yeah, I mean, thank God. I mean, yeah, no. I mean, I knew. I mean, I knew that he was going to throw me out, but I didn't want to return back to that store because I know that probably for the rest of the day he told his whole team to make sure. So I just left. It's not worth it. And you know what? I still got my 12-minute video even after they gave me the boot. I mean, they didn't literally kick me out, but they did escort me out, which I think was unprofessional. Very unprofessional. What is that? The guy literally had followed me. Yeah, no, he had to make sure that I left the building. Piece of garbage. But good. He's already out of a job, or they may have put him in a different Lord and Taylor. Doesn't matter. Store's closed. It'll never be another department store again. Was the elevator decommissioned at your Garden State Plaza store tour, Westville Garden State Plaza store tour? No, the elevator was still working. It's just where the elevator was in particular. That is where the Hilco merchant representative was sitting. Because once they bring the rugs in, that's all Hilco. That's not Lord and Taylor anymore. So I could have theoretically, yes, I probably could have taken the elevator up, but I didn't want to. I wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit with that one. But I think it's a decent store tour, and I think it came out really well. And I think everyone's going to like the Willowbrook store tour tomorrow. There was a Nordstrom's rack next to King of Prussia Mall before it moved to the new plaza. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, it really depends on the security guard. There's some awful ones, and I've dealt with awful security guards. It's not fun. Riverside is a great example of that, unfortunately. But yeah, no, some are good and some are bad. I try to avoid any encounters if I can. It's just I don't have time to really be there and talk to mall security. But I try to avoid any security I can. I always try to scope things out, make sure there's no security around. It's just you know so that's how I do it, because the last thing I want to do is get into a conversation and waste a security guard's time when he needs to be doing something else while he's on the job, of course. So I try to do them a favor and I try to do myself a favor. But I guess technically I did. Yeah, I don't know. I just think the whole Rockaway thing is stupid, and I really want to move on from it after Lord and Taylor does close all their stores. I don't know personally. Sadly, Westfield Trumbull was the final store I'll ever get to before the chain goes defunct. I'm surprised you didn't go for what's it called? I'm surprised you didn't go for what was the other one? Damn. Stanford or Scarsdale or even Fashion Center. Those are really unique ones. Hi, Alex P18. How are you? Did somebody really ask what is Lord and Taylor? Scorch. You don't know what Lord and Taylor is? They have a Lord and Taylor in Garden City, right outside of the Mineola train station. You don't know what Lord and Taylor is? What if it, you live it under a rock? I mean, Lord and Taylor's been doing liquidation sales since the 27th of August. I mean, it's going to almost a 6 month liquidation. 6 month liquidation for Lord and Taylor. Yes, Roosevelt Field does have a Nordstrom's and a Neiman Marcus. Yeah, they're just rude. Yeah, Cherry Hill Mall security though is another bad thing too. Yeah, it's just a common thing, of course. Oh no, that was a woman. That was a woman. That was a woman who was like, "Yeah, no, we can't have you taking pictures in here." Yeah, Watchung was like the first two-level Sears store to close in the state. That was almost 4 years ago. You see how quickly time flies. And now here we are, 2021. There is now only one Sears store left in the state in Jersey City. I'm not surprised. I didn't bother going up to three. Do you know which store you're talking about? Because I don't know which store that is. Oh, because maybe security was up there. Your mom published a book? Wow, that's pretty. That's quite an achievement. Called Tsunami to Greatness, which was released today and it's available on Amazon. Wow. If I wasn't taking 16 credits and I wasn't in school, I probably would read that book. Really? Oof. Well, Simon Property Group better get on that one because you can't racially profile an employee unless they do something wrong to you, of course. Uh, no, that's not going to happen. Right now, it's only 18. Yes, Lord and Taylor is closing. Yes, Palisade Center has a BJ's Wholesale Club. Oh, yeah. See, I don't really get jokes that well, but I guess I played you too at the same time. How many COVID cures there are? So there's right now two vaccines right now. You got Moderna and you got Pfizer. Johnson and Johnson is getting approved, but I hear it's supposed to be getting approved by the FDA, hopefully by the end of this week. Yeah, you must be really lucky. You must be really lucky to have so many Otis Series ones down by you. They have a lot of Otis Series ones for some reason in Monmouth and Ocean counties. Like I said, I wish I had time to go down there, but it's expensive to go down there. Do you remember that guy getting kicked out of Sears and Hackensack? How could I forget? I can't believe they asked him to stop taking pictures, and I'm sure he was probably a local resident of that area. I mean that was my closest store. But the point is, I still can't believe they threw him out. But that's all Eddie Lampert, and at this point, Sears and Kmart are just essentially done. I mean, the writing's on the wall for them too. Fried's Electronics, they're gone. Belk is probably going to close some stores. Who knows how long they're going to have. I don't know if Godiva closed their stores. I heard it was after Valentine's Day. That's the last I heard of Godiva. But they probably closed all their stores after Valentine's Day. Well, they got rid of Paramus. So my guess is, oh wow, so Hackensack is the only one in my area left that's probably still liquidating. Rockaway's going away, Lawrenceville's going away. Wonder if they still have the one in Garden City. That's still going. Walt Whitman is going though. Walt Whitman is still. Oh no, Roosevelt Field and Walt Whitman are still going. But Riverside's the only one left because they closed the one in Paramus. It seems. I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking. Not too many. We have kind of a mix, but not as many Otis Series ones in our area. More so like Schindlers, Kones, lots of GALs. That's a very common thing around in this area. Lots of ones with GALs. And very good young CC. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Is the Costco in Wayne still located next to Willowbrook Mall? Yes, still there. Is Belk going to leave the Valley View Mall? No, because I filmed there recently, and I don't think she works there anymore. The first Sears to close an NJ with an elevator, I believe, was the Watchung one, Long Island, Westfield, South Shore. Yes, I heard about GAL. Who were they bought out by? I've been hearing about that, but I've been so busy with school, I just haven't. I can't quite figure out who bought it or who owns it now. Yeah, someone let me know in the chat. What is the average gas price in the area? In East Valley, Arizona, it's $2.93 a gallon. We still overpay on gas. Last time I checked, I think it's almost about like $2.45 a gallon, at least here in New Jersey. Here's a hot dog bun. I don't know what you mean by that. Godiva, yeah, that seems to be it because there's still not the new Wayne one. That's not a dump. The old one was a total dump. That was a disaster. That one needed to go. I'm sorry to say. I don't know what the first Sears and Roebuck store closing upstate New York was. I think PTL. I think PTL brought them out or Monitor. Oh, great, nice. Hopefully it was PTL. Monitor. Ugh, they bought out GAL. That's just an awful way to go out. Probably mid-late of this year or next year, Sears and Jersey City will close. Well, I can't confirm or unconfirm that. It could happen any day, honestly. I don't plan on going to Chicago anytime soon, but thank you for the device. Device. What am I saying? Device. Advice. Wow, I'm really making mistakes tonight. Gallery at White Plains is done permanently, honestly. Yeah, it seems to be that way. It absolutely seems to be that way. I mean, you got Macy's, you got Sears closed January 24th. Old Navy is gone. The Center Court Elevator is gone. Macy's is, I believe, closing by next month. Could be April. It all depends if we end up in a second shutdown, which I think is unlikely at this point. But anything could happen. Yeah, Gallery White Plains is essentially done. And you got the Westchester, you got Cross County, you got Stanford Town Center, and you got Palisades Center, and the shops in Nanuet, if you really want to throw that one in there. And of course, you have what's it called? That other one, Jefferson Valley Mall and Ridge Hill. Yeah, no. Galleria at White Plains is just it's just done. The mall's done. There's no saving the mall, unfortunately. Was Monmouth the first Lord and Taylor to close since 2006? I'm surprised the chain was doing well until fall 2018. So the Lord and Taylor at Monmouth Mall in Eatontown was the first Lord and Taylor in the state of New Jersey to close. Sadly, I was in SATs and I could not make the trip down there, which to this day I have still not been to Monmouth Mall. But once JCPenney craps to bed, I'll be making a trip down there. But right now, no. Did KFC Express close at Westville Garden State Plaza? Not that I care for KFC Express, but I think it is still open. Oh, monitor. Yeah, I hate monitor TR. Ugh, that is the most disgusting type of fixture. I was on a monitor TR in an office building. Hated every second of it. Is Belk doing well? Belk just filed for bankruptcy today. I go to Queens Center Mall. I like. I mean, if that's your local mall, then by all means, it really. I guess it serves your purpose. It's not my favorite mall personally. I was there once, maybe like 5 years ago. Was not a fan of the mall, of course. Well, and you can't forget Macy's closing. Sears is just a dying retailer, but Old Navy leaving is not a good sign, and Macy's closing is not a good sign. So yeah, the mall's essentially done. And this center court glass elevator has probably been broken now for over almost 3 years. No, Gallery White Plains is in a lot more trouble than Palisades. I wasn't aware that a new Costco opened in Wayne, replacing the dumpy one. Yeah, the dumpy one is now a couple of other stores, and the Costco in Wayne is in the location of the old Fortune Off. But yeah, the new one is the flagship for Passaic County in Wayne. The flagship for Bergen County is at Teterboro Landing. I call each of the Costco's like the Costco flagship store for each of that county. That's what I classify them as. So, like, say the one in Clifton, that's a secondary Costco, and the one in Hackensack, secondary Costco. I don't know. It's a good way to classify them without the actual company classifying them. Yeah, but it's got other stores. Yeah, innovation's better than monitor TR. Yes. They're not exactly similar. Menlo Park's glass elevator is a lot better than Newport Center. That's for sure. City Center, I've never been to. The source at White Plains, really nothing special. I think it's doing okay. It's certainly doing a lot better than Gallery at White Plains, and it's far enough away from the malls in Westchester to be doing good, at least. Yeah, no, it's mostly KFC Express combined with Taco Bell, although I don't eat KFC. Yes, Palisades Center lost to Bed Bath & Beyond. In 40 years, what will people be now oh wait, so nostalgic for? Definitely Sears. Sears by then will be gone. Definitely Lord and Taylor and a couple of other stores too. It's a good mall, but it's an overfilmed mall. That's my problem with it. So Monitor TR is gross. More gross than Innovation Prestige. Yeah, the Teterboro and Costco is really nice. Is really nice. I've always been impressed with that one. Better than their original location in Hackensack. That needed to go. They got a better location in Teterboro. Um, Chris, what is the nearest mall to you? I don't go often, but probably mall wise, Westfield Garden State. It's a probably American Dream, but I typically go to Westfield Garden State Plaza more so because they just have more stores there than American Dream. What is the best type of cheese? Ooh, this is a good one. Probably cheddar. Yeah, they can be. That's why next time I'm going in there with the phone, I was gonna film, but they have a lot of people around in that store. It's hard to get a video in there. Prestige is definitely better. The worst part about Roosevelt Field and Westville Garden State Plaza, crowds on a Saturday and on a Sunday if you count Roosevelt Field, just not Westville Garden State. Is Freehold doing better than White Plains? By default, yes, but it's still not in a great position. I mean, losing Nordstrom's, that's just not good. That's just not good to lose a Nordstrom. But in a way, yes, Freehold is the better mall than White Plains. But that's not to say Freehold is not in trouble. Oh, interesting. Yeah, you can get away with a lot with a phone. I try to do it. It depends on the store and it depends on how like heavy type they have people walking around the store. Like you can get away with filming an elevator inside of Macy's, no problem. Their elevators are so hidden, employees wouldn't even bother to ask you questions. It's amazing with the kind of stuff you can get away with at Macy's. Yeah, we don't have any Victoria's Secret pinks in my area with elevators. I like waypoints in New York City. I take the 2 train. Oh, that's fun. R42As. That's always fun. Or R42Bs, whatever. R42s, whatever they run on the two. It's not an art center. It's more of an entertainment center than a mall. And I think that's the whole idea of it. Yeah, Zara is not a fan of photography. A lot of people know that. Yeah, I try to avoid any malls on weekends. It's hard to get elevator videos unless it's like early in the morning and there's not too much of a crowd there, and I'm able to get a video. But I typically would go on a weekday. It just makes more sense for me. Probably Brooks. Brooks is definitely a lot more tight with photography than Zara. Zara is tight, but you can kind of get away with something in there if you play it well. I can't believe Macy's at Water Tower Place is closing. I'll probably be there Saturday. There's a Macy's just down the road, so I'm not surprised. JCPenney Roosevelt Field has a Kone. Yeah. Well, I mean, be grateful you have one. It's one of only two on Long Island. You got South Shore, which that building is up for lease, and then the Roosevelt Field store. If all the states in the USA were represented by food, what would each state be represented by? This is a question I cannot answer, just given that there's so many states, and I don't know which states. Um, yeah, that one I just can't answer because it would take forever to go state by state by state. But you could certainly look that up, and you can tell me the next time you're in a live stream. I don't know what's going to happen with that Lord and Taylor at Bridgewater Commons. I mean, it's closing this Saturday along with the rest, so time will tell what they do with that store. Sadly, the Westfield one is expected to meet the wrecking ball, which I am really upset about that one. Out of all the Lord and Taylor stores closing, of course, the best and only freestanding one in the state has to meet the wrecking ball. You know, just a shame. It's a real shame too. That building has so much history. I mean, it was a Haynes from 1963 all the way to 1988, and then it was a Lord and Taylor from like the late 80s all the way to 2021. That building is a lot of history, and Lord and Taylor loved that store. That I think that was one of their top performing stores in the country. Well, the other thing too is Lord and Taylor at the time had a store in Milburn. So when the Milburn store closed because they merged with Haynes, that Lord and Taylor completely shut down, and Lord and Taylor was in Livingston. I don't think Lord and Taylor liked Livingston much. I think the only reason they wanted to be in Livingston was because of the Haynes merger. But the Lord and Taylor that I really liked in Jersey was Westfield. No doubt that was my favorite Lord and Taylor in Jersey. And in New York, definitely Manhasset, just because it's freestanding and unique. Well, you also got JCPenney Queens Center. Me too. At least they're not closing yet, of course. Mask wearing. Is Nordstrom's bad when it comes to photography? I've always had good experience when even when I have been seen filming. Nordstrom workers are so friendly. Yeah, Nordstrom's is friendly. They that's a friendly company. They're that's not like a snobby store. They're always yeah. I've filmed at both Nordstrom's and Nordstrom's Rack. They've always I've never had an issue with them. Lord and Taylor I've had an issue with. Definitely. I've always had issues with them. What's another store? Zara and Brooks. Those are the stores I've had issues with. Macy's never. No, Macy's doesn't give a. Macy's could care less if you're filming. Honestly, they probably consider it promotion because me filling the elevator promotes their store, gets customers in the doors. Yes, it does, and I think that's just a little bit east of the Lord and Taylor that's closing in Manhasset. Yeah, I don't know how that one happened, but I think they were cool about it. But I did see that video before. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt that I think there is a couple in there that have monitored TR. So I still can't believe Fry's Electronics is gone. Like that is still imagine filming Trump Tower now. Yeah, get ready to have security up your get ready to have lots of security up your ASSS. After Lord and Taylor Westville gets bulldozed, do you think it'll be a multi-level medical care center rebuilt in that space? Nope. The plans are low-income housing. It's all going to be low-income housing. They're knocking the building down completely, and it's being zoned for low-income housing in downtown Westfield, which honestly makes sense. Given how close it is to the train station, it just makes sense for to them to do low-income housing there at least. It's still sad. Excuse me. Oh well. It's still very sad though that Lord and Taylor is coming down because that was a really nice store, and that one. Let's just say I got something out of that store. I don't want to say what it is, but we'll keep it under reps for now. You guys know Willowbrook is going up tomorrow. We'll see what's you guys will be surprised at what goes up on Friday. Okay, cool. Have a good night. Yeah, monitor TR seems to be a common thing in office buildings nowadays, which you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it going for another 10 minutes, and then I think I'm gonna call it quits. It's a long day when you have remote learning, but I'm glad to have done the live stream today. So we'll keep it going here for another like couple minutes, and then we'll go ahead. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Oh God, political ads. Ugh. Well, you know what? He was the president for 4 years, so now there's still people asking questions. I'll keep it going for a little bit longer, and then I think we'll wrap it up. So, but I definitely want to spend some time. Anybody on the live stream ever go to Fry's Electronics? I still can't believe they're gone. That's just, I mean, especially with all the features they had inside those stores, it's just wow. Like I think that was the biggest news story today. Well, that and of course Belk, but obviously we know which one's going to get more attention. Fry's Electronics right off the bat, but Belk is still pretty sad though that they're closing. What else? What else? What else? What else? Be interesting to see if they post any new jobs on Indeed.com. If they post any more store closings, like if they post any Sears jobs, but they're not going to post them till like Friday. Huh. Well, Jersey City, they're still They're still posting jobs for Jersey City, which amazes me. Avenel. I wonder if Avenel's going to close because they just posted a new cashier job 1 day ago. I wonder if they're going to change that. Yeah, I still can't believe Kearney and Belleville are closing too. It's crazy. That I don't know honestly. They do, but some of them are okay. Yeah, hopefully. So interesting. Not that I watch Comedy Central that much, but that's really interesting to know. Honestly, admit that Fry's Electronics is supposed to be doing a going out of business sale in other locations beforehand. Well, I mean, it's not like the general public knew. The general public only found out last night. Like it was, and it was that quick. Like it was, but and you got to remember, I didn't know about Fry's Electronics going away till this morning. I did not know that they were going away, but it's a shame. It's really sad, and it's a lot of people losing their jobs, unfortunately, that are now going to have to look for some new jobs. It's definitely tough. Well, the other thing too is California had a lot of restrictions on policies that customers would come inside the stores. So I think that too accelerated the death, and obviously COVID. Yeah, no, Fry's Electronics is not coming back unless that smart person who bought Pier One thinks it's still valuable. But even then, Fry's Electronics that was just going downhill. I'm sorry. I mean, they had no merchandise left in the stores. And I remember watching a video of retail archaeology, and it was a video of him showing around the stores. I actually might watch it after this, believe it or not. But the point taken, that was just struggling for years. There was just big empty chunks of the stores, and I mean these stores were I mean it was Costco, but you could maybe fit two Costco's inside of Fry's Electronics. That's how big Fry's Electronics was, or maybe you could fit one. Still, the point being, they were struggling, and the writing was on the wall, and the pandemic was just the final nail in the coffin, because they were already empty, and the pandemic obviously scaring people away. Doing online shopping, retailers. That was the final nail in the coffin. Do I think it's the same situation as Lord and Taylor? Not really, because they just couldn't pay their vendors. Lord and Taylor suffered from bad leadership, unfortunately, and always changing the way that their stores were, and the merchandise was not great. And then, of course, you have, well, Century's coming back, which everybody knew. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the two, and I'm really trying to change gears here, Century 21 versus Lord and Taylor, no doubt everybody knew that Century 21 was going to come back. It's a shame they had to liquidate it first, but I'm glad they're coming back personally. Out of the two, Lord and Taylor at this point is just done. It's done. It's over. Your online site's going to launch next month. That's the end of Lord and Taylor. But I'm happy Century 21's coming back though. That's huge that they're coming back. Oh, great! I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. Well, it happens. Texas elevators. It just happens. No, I'm not getting the vaccine yet. Yeah, it just happens. These people, it just doesn't magically happen. It unfortunately happens because of cut back hours and not enough customers coming through the doors. It happens, unfortunately. What is going to happen with the Neiman Marcus and Hudson Yards? Will it be both those like the Lord and Taylor in Westfield? Neiman Marcus Hudson Yards is a lot newer. Neiman Marcus Hudson Yards structure is from the early 2000s. The Lord and Taylor structure in Westfield is from the 1960s, or really 1950s, like early 1960s. That's going to get knocked down versus a structure from the 19 versus from like the 2000s, just because of the building size and because the building's never going to be used as a department store again. They're better off just bulldozing the building as a whole, unfortunately. They're going to be entering the US, but we don't know yet what stores they're going to be. Imagine Hempstead having a mall, That's like putting a mall at a Plaza in Hempstead. That's what having a mall in Hempstead would be. There is technically a mall in Hempstead, the town of Hempstead, Roosevelt Field. Technically, it's a Hamlet thing that New York does. I think it's really stupid, but it's technically in the town of Hempstead. Woodbridge or Gallery White Plains? Woodbridge, hands down. Woodbridge Center. That's the better one than Gallery White Plains. Woodbridge Center at least has a Macy's, a J.C. Penney, and a Boscov's, and a Dick's. No, Century 21's coming back. They're relaunching. Yeah. So true. Could be a lot worse for Freehold Raceway. Hey, I mean, at least Raceway has a Macy's and a J.C. Penney. They could be a lot worse though, but Freehold's still not in a great position. Losing to Nordstrom's, that's not good for that mall. Yes, I heard about that. Southampton on Long Island. Yeah, I'm not surprised though. Hey, I mean, they get to make a lot of money. I'm not surprised they're doing it. So if I didn't mention before, I had some really good chocolate chip cookies. They were excellent. Oh yeah, the Hamptons is very expensive. No, I don't see 7-Eleven going in shopping malls. I still think what they did at Palisades was weird. Yeah, no, I can't see 7-Eleven going in shopping malls. That I think that's not a great thing, personally. Elevator wise, JCPenney, Woodbridge Center, or Macy's Willowbrook? Ooh, that is a tough one. That's a tough one. JCPenney, Woodbridge Center motor, Macy's Willowbrook fixtures. No, no, because Saks Avenue is in Greenwich, and that would dearly hurt their Greenwich store. Yes, Westfield Annapolis is in trouble. If Century 21 did come back, I think they might open a few in New York and at least one in New Jersey. Um, yeah, I think Century 21 will probably want to go to American Dream because think about it. I did an abandoned video on that one, and think about it. The space is already there. All they have to do is throw clothing in there, and they can just call it a Century 21 store. That's what I'm trying to say. Like all the clothing is there. I don't think they're going to open up Paramus again. No, I don't think that's. It could come back. I'm not saying it's not going to come back. They could, but they might get a different space, or they get their old space back. I don't know. We'll see. Elevator wise, Macy's Willow Grove or Macy's Freehold. Ooh, that's another tough one. Both actually. I think they're both pretty good. But Macy's Willow Grove, I think, resembles the Jersey City store a lot more elevator wise, of course. Not that I've been to Willow Grove Park, but I that's my assumption, of course. Yeah, I don't know how Middlesex County had that indoor mall, but that probably died because of Menlo Park, Woodbridge Center, and Brunswick Square, of course. South Shore Plaza. No, South Shore Plaza is in Braintree, Massachusetts. Yes, no, that's a mall in Massachusetts. That's not the name for Westfield South Shore. Okay, not that I care for Verizon, but cool. All right, so I think we're reaching the end of the live stream. Any last minute questions? Because this is the time for last minute questions. Because think I'm going to be getting off for the night. I'm pretty tired, and like um, I believe Antec0104 is doing a live stream. So if you guys want to go ahead and join that, I'll make sure to link that in the description below. My Wi-Fi's kind of going, so yeah, I might. I don't think so for 7-Eleven. So I use AT&T, and they seem to be pretty good. So All right. So anybody last minute questions? Going once, going twice. All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Q&A live stream number 120. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful night.